Good evening, light seeker, peace lover, meditations lover, wherever you are using Bali time. Good morning. I am deeply happy to meet you again and again. I keep repeating from one guided meditation to another guided meditation. Ocean fishermen cannot fish. Without the land, the farmer will lose their own job. In the same way, without well-devoted students like you, a spiritual servant like me will lose my job. For that reason, thank you very much for being patient waiting for us. Today we are going to meet only one day. We'll do guided meditation as usual. And this evening, 18 minutes past 6 p.m. Bali time, I will share to you another light about strengthening the immune system. Previously, especially in the beginning of crisis about coronavirus, it was only my spiritual instinct said the following conclusion. But later on, I read in one of the influential journal in the West. The name of the journal is Science Alert. And the last one, some of our member here in Spiritual Family of Compassion also got infected by coronavirus positive. And all of them are safe alive now. Based on my spiritual conclusions, the journal Science Alert, the direct experience of Spiritual Family of Compassion, I come to this following simple conclusion. The virus does not kill, but the weakening immune system that make the virus kill. Let me repeat once again. The virus does not kill, but the weakening immune system that make the virus kill. For that reason, this evening session is very important session. We are going to discuss about strengthening the immune system. There are many aspects of immune system, not only biological aspect, include how to manage the mind, how to manage emotion, how to be skillful spiritually. Many aspects. When it comes to medical journal, especially, they will focus on the medical and biological side. It is understandable. But when it comes to the true reality, immune system does not only related with the biological aspect of our body. It is something to do with our mind, our emotion, and also our spiritual aspect of our body. That's why this evening, 18 minutes past 6 Bali time, I am going to share to you the new topic about strengthening the immune system, especially because I strongly believe with my personal conclusion, based on my personal experience, the experience of the Spiritual Family of Compassion, being backed up by the journal of Science Alert. The conclusion is simple but very deep. The virus does not kill. The weakening immune system make the virus kill. That is the most important reason why this evening session is about strengthening the immune system. I will talk to you not only the biological side, but also mental, the mind, and the spiritual sides of immune system. Let's say the mind is not the brain. It's only one of the important vehicle of the mind. Mind is the energetic field both inside and outside the body. Mind does not only influence our body, but also influence our spiritual journey. And when it comes to the technical language of the mind, it is the dynamic interaction between memory, intelligence, and interaction. I make it triangle like this. The above part is intelligence, memory, and interaction. That is the root of the mind. When it comes to immune system, it is very important to manage your intelligence and also your interaction. If your immune system getting weakening, but you interact with those people whose energy is very negative, it is dangerous. If you are sensitive, the empath, but keep interacting with the narcissist and energy vampire, you are in danger. That is one small part of my presentation in this evening session about strengthening the immune system. By the time we are waiting for 33 minutes past 11, as I promised in social media, we still have another 4 minutes just to let you know a glimpse picture what I'm going to speak this evening, strengthening the immune system. Nutrition, as I keep sharing to you, there is kingdom of health inside, kingdom of health. The king is nutrition, the queen is exercise, and the prince is beautiful sleep. When it comes to nutrition, it is not only nutrition of the body, nutrition of the body. For example, I never tired to share to all of you, it is very important to consume high variety of plant-based food. High variety of plant-based food. That is very important. It is recommended to local fruit or local vegetables to you. Nutrition is very important. As concluded by many websites which deeply learning about cancer, the conclusion is very simple. Most of the people in modern time, they are overfed but undernourished. Overfed but undernourished. Why most people in modern time is overfed but undernourished? Because they consume mostly a processed product, which when it comes to the nutrition is in big question mark. What I'm recommending to you and also recommended by many experts of nutrition worldwide, high variety of plant-based food. When it comes to the spiritual nutrition, I will share to you this evening, it is the combination between being balanced and spiritual connection. There is no spiritual nutrition which is better than the combination between being balanced and being spiritual connected. That is the glimpse of the story that I'm going to share to all of you this evening about strengthening the immune system. Now, we end 33 minutes past 11. We are going to do guided meditation, especially to make your mind clear, and it is easy for the Holy Teaching enter your heart if the mind is clear and clean. To make the mind clear and clean, now we are going to do guided meditation. Beautiful friends, wherever you are, first of all, remember to cross your leg to avoid downward movement of energy. Your back and head straight but relax. No need to be rigid, simply relax. Head and back straight but relax. Your wings, make it as natural as possible, not too open, not too close. The positions of your hand, it is totally up to you. The Hindus prefer this kind of position to release yourself from Sattvam, Rajas, Tamas in order to meet the ultimate peace, the silence. The Hindus, the Buddhists, there are positions according to the direction, east, west, south. It is totally up to you. Another religion, just in case your religion recommend you to position your hand, feel free, as long as you are relaxed and natural. If you love the positions of my hand, it is okay. And open your eyes a little bit, just to avoid you to be sleepy. As a warning, please do not watch, do not listen my guided meditation by the time you are driving a car or you are riding motorcycle. It is dangerous because it has been reported by many people. The vibrations of my voice is very calming. It is dangerous if you watch this guided meditation by the time you are driving a car. Please don't do. Make sure that you are sitting in a safe place like home or in the office. Now we are going to do guided meditation. In the more mature and the more advanced level, to meditate is to take a perfect rest. To take a perfect rest in this moment as it is. That is the innermost core of meditation. You do not need to make the fire hot. You do not need to make the water wet. The natural natures of the fire is hot. The natural nature of the water is wet. In the same way, the natural nature of the mind is keep jumping. No need to change the jumping mind. Simply take a rest. Be a compassionate witness. Strangely, when you do not try to change the mind will change. That happened to the experience of countless meditators. Don't try to change the jumping mind. Simply rest in this moment as it is. Be a compassionate witness. That is the innermost core of meditation. To make the idea of resting the mind more practical, now learn to feel the gap between two breaths. Between in-breath and out-breath, there is a gap. Between out-breath and in-breath, there is a gap. Simply feel the gap without holding the breath, without shortening the breath, without prolonging the breath. Simply breath as natural as possible. At the same time, feel the gap between two breaths. That is the practical step of resting the mind. Feel the gap between two breaths. There is no ocean without wave. There is no mind also without wave. Even in the stage of enlightenment, in the Gamma state, there is wave inside the brain. Try to stop the wave. Remember to be a compassionate witness. That is what I mean by resting the mind in this moment as it is. Don't try to stop. Simply be a compassionate witness. Whatever sound that appear in your place, like here in ashram, we hear the voice of the car in the distance. Use any sound, singing birds, motorcycle, alarm. Use any sound as holy bell to return back to the gap between two breaths. Any sound. As the natural natures of dolphin beautifying the ocean by being dolphin, butterfly beautifying the garden by being butterfly. You are beautifying the life by being yourself as you are. That is another phase of resting the mind. You are beautifying the life by being yourself as you are. Feel the gap between two breaths. Quoting from one of the ancient scriptures from Tibet, the roof of the world. Dry season does not reduce the amount of water in the universe. Raining season does not increase the amount of water in the universe. In the same way, blame, praise, sad, glad, pain, pleasure, sorrow, joy, they do not decrease something, they do not increase something. Rest, beautiful soul, rest. Rest the mind in this moment as it is. Rest. Borrowing from the devoted students of the famous physicist Dr. David Bohm, in the moment when you feel the gap between two breaths, the gap between two memory, the gap between two sound, you enter the quantum field. The field where there are many things impossible become possible, include the unhealed disease can be healed if you feel the gap between two breaths very, very often. You enter the quantum field, the field where many things impossible become possible. Another approach of resting the mind. Accept, flow, smile. Especially because everything that happens in this universe is the dancings of the same perfection. Everything. The bad, the good, sad, glad, sorrow, joy. They are all part of the same perfection's dancing. Accept, flow, smile, beautiful soul. Anything that happens in this moment, from the sounds of singing birds, numbness, until peace of mind, use it as holy bell, reminding you to feel the gap between two breaths. What the mind calls as wrong and right, what the emotion calls as sad or glad, they are all like the clouds that are coming and going. Now you are no longer those clouds. You are now the witnessing blue sky. Rest the mind on the gap between two breaths. As the natural natures of water which is wet, the natural natures of flower which is beautiful, the natural natures of the body which no longer experiencing energy drain from the mind will automatically produce a lot of medicine inside the mind on the gap between two breaths. Another direct output of resting the mind on the gap between two breaths, you will experience less energy draining from the mind. As concluded by many energy researchers, most of energy drain come from the negative and critical mind. As soon as you perfectly rest the mind on the gap between two breaths, those energy drain that come out from the mind will totally stop. As a result, the body will have all the capacity to heal itself. Rest the mind on the gap between two breaths. Whenever bad memory comes, no need to entertain the bad memory. Simply smile to your bad memory, then back to the gap between two breaths. Smile is a sign that you are no longer a victim, you are now a master. Feel the gap between two breaths. Release the mind from any kind of duality like right and wrong, joy, sorrow. Release the mind from the conflicting duality like pain and pleasure, especially by being a compassionate witness, by filling the gap between two breaths. As soon as you make the mind totally rest from any kind of conflicting duality, the energy draining that come out from the mind will completely stop. Rest the mind on the gap between two breaths. Whatever the blessing of this moment, from the sounds of motorcycle until singing birds, from numbness until peace of mind, simply smile. Smile open the gate of understanding that now you are no longer a victim. Now you are a master to your own life. Imagine the space. The more you rest the mind on the gap between two breaths, the more you become a compassionate witness. Your mind will be like the space, which providing place to anything and anyone to grow. There is no rejection to the negative. There is no attachment to the positive. That is the space-like quality of the mind. The mind which not draining. Rest, beautiful soul, rest. That is the most beautiful gift that you can give to your beautiful inner soul. Resting the mind in this moment as it is. That is the most beautiful gift to your beautiful inner soul. How to rest the mind? Feel the gap between two breaths. Feel the gap between two sounds. Feel the gap between two memories. That is exactly what I mean by resting the mind. Entering the quantum field the field where many things impossible can become possible, include unhealed disease can be healed. After spending long time enough resting the mind in this moment as it is, now learn to forgive. Especially without forgiving, soul will never grow and will never glow. First of all, visualize a crying baby on your left hand, the symbol of bad memory and soul wound that come from the past, especially childhood. It can be being wounded by the parent, being bullied by friend in school time, being left behind by your girl or boyfriend, any kind of bad memory and soul wound that make you cried in the past. Visualize them as a crying baby. And the meditative approach of forgiving yourself, simply giving space without any smallest resistance, simply giving space to the soul wound and bad memories of the past. That is how your soul grows mature. Giving space, that is the meditative approach of forgiving yourself. Giving space without any small resistance. After forgiving yourself, now learn to forgive the person who make you wounded in the past, your enemy. It can be unmature parents, it can be your boy or girl friends who left you behind in teenagers' time, whoever. Visualize them as a crying baby on your right hand. And to open the beautiful gate of forgiving. Now please deeply understand, deep inside your heart, it was not violence. It was not violence that make the others harm you. It was soul wound. Those people who keep harming the others, they are also wounded. They try to heal themselves by harming the others. As a result, they do not get the medicines. They drink another more dangerous poison. That is the understanding that can open the gate of forgiving. Another approach of forgiving. Look at those people who harm you in the past, who make you suffer in the past, as the younger versions of yourself. Look at them, your enemy, as the younger versions of your life. In young age, we all committed mistake. Even the holy soul like Prince Siddhartha committed mistake in the beginning. Now look at those enemies as the younger versions of yourself. That is another approach of opening the gate of forgiving. Now visualize the crying baby on your left hand, your soul wound. giving rose of forgiving to the crying baby on your right hand, the soul wound of your enemy. At the same time, please remember the beautiful message of the late Nelson Mandela. Without forgiving, you will bring portable prison wherever you go. Forgiving certainly does not change the past, but forgiving certainly changes the present. Forgiving is not the sign of weak souls. Forgiving is the sign of beautiful soul. Now, in order to make your soul journey much better and deeper, now call the white light of Father from the sky, entering the crown chakra and rest in the fourth chakra of the heart. Call the red light of Mother from earth, entering the first chakra, also rest in the fourth chakra of the heart. Both white light of Father from the sky and red light of Mother from earth, giving birth to the pink light of love in the heart. Now visualize the pink light of love in the heart, getting bigger, bigger, until bigger than your body, and sending the light of love to every single cell of your body, especially sending the light of love to the part of your body which is painful. If you have problem with your brain, send the light of love to the brain. If you have problem with your feet, send the light of love to the feet. Now send the light of love to the loved one. It can be your husband, your wife, your children, your parent. Send them the light of love by memorizing their kind deeds in the past. As soon as you memorize their kind deeds, you will send the light of love to the loved one. Now send the light of love to your enemy. Your enemies are also kind because they help you to grow into much more mature. Remember, without blowing wind, the kite will never fly. Without the harming enemies, you will never grow mature. Send the enemy the light of love by contemplating their kindness as well. To make your love unlimited and unconditional, now send love to lower, middle, upper realm. Burbuah Swa, that is how the Balinese call it. From hell, Satan, Gumarat Gumitit, animal, virus, plant, Mamadi, human beings, demigods, Asura, gods, Deva, all mother sentient being in samsaric realm, lower, middle, upper realm, sending the light of love to the realm of Dharma protector, Mother Kiwa, Father Tengan, Dragon, Garuda, Lion, Tiger, sending the light of love to the realm of Arahat and Bodhisattva. That is how to make your love unlimited and unconditional. As soon as you are ready to open your eyes, remember to whisper deep inside your soul the beautiful mantra of Aham Prema, meaning I am love who is here to share love. Aham Prema, Aham Prema, Aham Prema. I am love who is here to share love. Thank you, beautiful friends, for seriously following our guided meditation. Hopefully, it helps your healing journey. Hopefully, it helps to make your mind clean and clear, to make you ready to receive the holy teaching that I will deliver to you this evening. Hopefully. The weather here in Assam is very clear and clean. Hopefully the weather in your place also the same. It is the sign that there are many darkness can be dispelled by the light which is flowing through me. As I promised before, I will summarize to you my last month's sessions about training the brain to smile, just to make sure you remember my last month. Last month, I shared to you the beautiful topic of training the brain to smile. One of the important characteristics of suffering soul, they become the servant of the brain. What I mean by the servant of the brain, anything that happens in the brain, they speak. Anything that happens in the brain, they do something. That is what I mean by the servant of the brain, which is very dangerous. What happened to the smiling soul? They are no longer become the servant of the brain, but they are the master of the brain. What I mean by being the master of the brain, don't react, do not respond to all movement in the brain. Remember, you are greater than your brain. You are not only the brain, you are also the heart, also the soul. You are even the light of God. Greater than your brain. That's what being master of the brain. As widely researched by neuroscientists like Dr. Rudy Tansi from Harvard, from Dr. Walter Tyler also from Harvard University, brain become the source of poison. It can become the source of medicine as well. It depends on how skilled to train the brain. For example, deep and delta sleep, which is the most important requirement of our health in our cycle of time. It is you have a very hard left. It's hard to imagine open the gate deep and delta sleep. According to the research conducted by Dr. Rudy Tansi from Harvard University, those very hard left brainer is very logical, very critical. They will be very difficult to open the gate of deep and delta. That is what I mean. Brain can become the source of poison. It becomes the source of medicine. It depends on how skillful you are to train your brain. One of the famous neuroscientists from Harvard, a lady, his name is Dr. Jill Bolte Tyler, with spending more than 10 years in laboratory researching the brain from outside and also researching the brain from inside, because she herself experienced stroke for more than 8 years. The conclusion is very beautiful. That is the conclusions of Dr. Jill Bolte Tyler from Harvard University. Without being balanced between left brain is logical, systematical, critical, And right brain, many people, right brain is emotion. It's about sensitivity and art. Without balance between left and right brain, anyone can be in danger. I strongly agree with the conclusions of Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor. For that reason, now I'll summarize to you training the brain to smile. Another research that make you more convinced about the ideas of training the brain, it is the book of How Emotions Are Created. The author is Dr. Lisa Friedman. How Emotions Are Created. It's a beautiful book. And I strongly agree with the conclusion. How emotions are created. Emotion is the fruit of the dynamic interaction between brain, body, and environment. Brain, body, and environment. And the most influential factor in this case is brain. If you do not train the brain, then brain will produce a lot of pain. If you are skillful in training the brain, then brain will produce a lot of peace. In short, pain or peace more than a half is the direct outcome of how skillful you are in training the brain. If you are unskillful, then the brain will produce a lot of pain. If you are unskillful, the brain will produce a lot of pain. If you are skillful, the brain will produce more peace than pain. For that reason, now I'll summarize to you what I mean by training the brain to smile. In which you are no longer the servant of the brain, now you are the servant of the brain. First of all, remember to be balanced, especially being balanced between left and right brain. For example, suppose that you enter the garden. If your brain counting the number of the tree, it means you are left brainer. But as soon as you see the trees on the garden, you are not interested in counting the tree, but you imagine that the singing birds will be peaceful on the tree, meaning that you are right brainer. In the moment when you read the word dog, if you separate the word dog into D-O and G, meaning you are left brainer. But if as soon as you read the word dog, a picture about loyal animal appear in the brain, you are right brainer. Just in case in school time, that your score of math is far higher than art, there is probability that you are left brainer. Just in my case, my right brainer is far stronger than left brainer. The first steps in training the brain to smile, remember to be balanced between left and right. The second one, be careful about inner conversation. Inner conversation. As I keep sharing from one time to another time, inner conversation is the longest and the most influential conversation. The longest and the most influential. If your inner conversation is mostly negative, you keep poisoning the brain. But if your inner conversation is full of thankfulness, gratitude, you bring a lot of medicines to your brain. It has been widely concluded by many neuroscientists, if your inner conversation is like, thank you God for everything, thank you for having a beautiful family, and many kind of thank you and gratitude, that is the more recommended inner conversation that open the gate of braining with smile. Number 3, look at how the brain responds to bad memories and enemies. Suppose that one day you are alone, suddenly bad memory comes. If anger arises, that is the untrained brain. Suppose that you are alone, you remember about your angry father or your mother, the one who harmed you in the past. Suddenly you are bad mood. It means that is the untrained mind. What I mean by the trained mind, the trained brain, the brain that easily smile. Whenever bad memory comes, you simply smile. Because it passed already. It happened in the past, long past. Whenever you remember your enemy, you smile again. Because those people just belong to the past. And life never grow in the past. Life always in the present. That is number 3 in training the brain to smile. Look at how the brain responds whenever bad memory comes. Look at how the brain responds whenever you remember your enemy. The most important thing to do, smile. Number 4, look deeply into the quality of your sleep, because your sleep is the honest mirror of your brain. If the quality of your sleep getting better from one day to another day, meaning the quality of your brain also getting better. I closely monitor the quality of my sleep from night to night. Just in the case you do not use the words that I am using, there is very easy approach of measuring the quality of your sleep. Look at your body around 11 or 12 o'clock a.m. 11 or 12 a.m. If you feel sleepy at that time, it means that you experience sleep deprivation, you are lack of sleep. 11, 12, if you feel sleepy in the night before, you are lack of sleep. That's the good feedback. Number 4, remember, monitor closely to the quality of your sleep. Those untrained brain usually experience a lot of sleep deprivation, but the trained mind sleep well. I sleep every day in average between 7 until 8 hours. Number 5, as part of training the brain to smile, learn to grow close to nature, especially because nature nurture. I spent more than 25 years of my life as a gardener. Here in Ashram, I also have a beautiful garden. You know, nature nurture. The most beautiful part of my garden here, I have a few 100 meters of my garden, rice field. I keep maintaining the rice field, and the rice is totally consumed by wild birds. Every time I see my rice field here, it nurtures certain part of my soul, close to nature. Number 6, look at soul holes, your soul holes. What I mean by soul hole is the part of your soul journey which is missing in childhood especially. Like what I did with my childhood. My childhood, I spent most of my childhood, young age, reading, learning. The part of my life which is lacking is practicing. So that's why in the old age, I spend most of my time practicing, serving and serving the others. That is my approach of training my brain to smile. Number 7, make sure that you grow in the clean environment, not only physically but also mentally and spiritually. because what you see in daily life will influence the quality of your brain. Make sure your environment, physical, mental, spiritual experience is clean. Number 8, never underestimate exercise. Not only physical exercise, but also mental and spiritual exercise. Mental exercise, meditation. Spiritual exercise, love in action, serving the others. So that's why in compassion, spiritual family of compassion, we have 3 centers of service. The service of suicide prevention, the service of divorce prevention, the service of taking good care of children with special needs. Number 9, be careful about stress. This evening I will elaborate to you what I mean by stress management. Stress also influences the quality of the brain. And one of the important factors why many people are stressful, because their hope and their expectation are higher than reality. And one of the easiest medicines of stress, make your hope, your expectation, your desire closer to reality. It helps me a lot in healing my stress. Here in ashram, I live only with one person, which is my wife. The reason why my old age experiencing very limited as almost no stress, my tips is only one. I do not do anything that make my wife angry. That's the tip. No conflict, no quarreling. The tips is only one. Don't do anything that makes my wife angry. Safe. That's why I have a safe and peaceful old age here. Because I do not do anything that makes my wife angry. Stress management. Number 10, gratitude. It's very important in training the brain to smile. It has been widely concluded in neuroscience journal. In the moment you feel gratitude, you tell the brain that life is perfectly okay. As a result, the brain is no longer release the hell hormone like cortisol. On the contrary, brain will release the growth hormone like dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin. Gratitude. Number 11, never underestimate the power of prayer. I keep praying. And the most beautiful prayer according to me is thank you, thank you, thank you. Because as soon as your mouth whisper the beautiful word thank you, you also train the brain. Number 12, in action. It is not in which the body can change behavior. If you do in action for years, that's what I mean by repeated behavior. The movement of your body will change your love in action. The last one, meditate. Meditate. It has been widely researched. Meditation heal, include healing, especially personal approach, resting the mind on the gap between two breaths. It is a beautiful approach. My age now is approaching 60, which is no longer young. But thanks God, after I retired in the age of 49. It was 9 years ago. For the last 9 years, I only drink pharmaceutical medicine only once. That is the first year I retired because there's change of weather from the Jakarta, which is hot, here is very cold. I got flu only once. So you may ask Dr. Eka Imbawan, the coordinator of medical team here in Compassion Family. I only asked him pharmaceutical medicine only once. 2012. After that, I never got flu. And one of the important reasons, manage your stress, meditate in daily life. What I mean meditation is not only sitting like this, no. As long as there is awareness, as long as there is alertness, as long as there is mindfulness, anything can become meditation. That is what I mean by meditating 24 hours a day. Any kind of movement can become meditation as long as there is alertness, awareness, and mindfulness. What my last month presentations about training the brain to smile. Hopefully, it will inspire your spiritual journey, because in our cycle of time, brain is one of the very important organ inside. It has been concluded by many scientists and researchers as well. Even many spiritual masters also agreed. It is very important to train the brain to smile. That is my last month presentation about training the brain to smile. Thank you, beautiful soul, wherever you are. Deep thank you. Please remember, 18 minutes past 6 p.m. Bali time this evening, we are going to meet again discussing the new topic about strengthening the immune system. Remember my short but deep conclusion. Virus does not kill, but the weakening immune system that make the virus kill. That is the conclusion that I'll elaborate to you this evening. 18 minutes past 6 Bali time p.m. Thank you, thank you, thank you. May all beings are happy and free from suffering.